This is George from All Cloud Enterprise Solutions. All Cloud is a company that offers a complete end-to-end unified lending platform. So I've been in the technology field for the last 35 plus years. 20 of that has been in the technology space for banking and financial institutions. A variety of products, like whether it is core banking or payment systems or loan origination, loan management systems. We've covered them all, and I have a good understanding of the banking technology requirements, needs, expectations from the banks and financial institutions in India. I'm here to we will be conducting a series of such videos, primarily to give cooperative banks a different perspective in terms of, how technology will help them to maintain and increase their client base, meet RBI's compliance, and at the same time increase customer satisfaction, by increasing the retention, increasing, the capability to deliver services faster to the customers of these cooperative banks in India. The focus for today's topic will be the speed of delivery for, accepting, approving and disbursing loans for cooperative banks. The typical process that cooperative banks follow, this is probably the top 30 or 40 cooperative banks in the country, are very technology savvy and have implemented a whole host of technology solutions to help them grow. But a lot of the cooperative banks, in the smaller town cities within India also have, large enough balance sheets that they need to invest a little more into the technology space to be able to deliver, speedier results to their customers. A case in point specifically would be the turnaround time from the time that the application has come in to the time that the loan gets approved and disbursed. Of course, basis the kind of product it is, whether it's a vehicle loan or a personal loan or a business loan, there could be different, periods of time by which these banks take the decision. But the idea is to try and crunch the time frame at the same time to ensure maintaining the bank's risk profile, to ensure that the banks are not put at risk. So the idea is to actually speed up the entire process. A lot of these processes today are manual, and the idea is to, if you can bring in a loan origination system from the time that the inquiry comes in, be it from a bank's website or be it from a bank's mobile banking app, or be it at a branch or through a sales agent or the bank's own sales agent. The idea is to be able to capture the data, digitize the entire workflow, take a decision quickly within the parameters of the bank's credit policies, and ensure that the loan gets disbursed in time to the customers. So to reduce the manual intervention and digitize this entire thing, a loan origination system like the All Cloud, LOS will definitely help banks achieve these goals. So cooperative banks are banks. Of course, they have a different charter, so they are cooperative in nature. But from a banking perspective, they cover, all the banking requirements of a typical bank. And lending is the prime source of, income. The interest from the lending, the loans disbursed are where the banks actually make their income. So when you're looking at digitizing this entire process, the idea is to actually, when you deploy a technology, your validations such as KYCs, validations such as credit bureaus, validations such as, the information from bank statements, validations such as whether a business's balance sheet or P&L, all of which can be automated and pulled into the system, and the data can be made available to the relevant credit underwriters to actually take a quick call within the system. So technology definitely reduces the time frame rather than having to go through each file manually. Even if it is just, looking at it manually on the system, each step, you can automate all these steps, you can digitize all these steps to ensure that the turnaround times for approvals are much faster. Now, RBI is actually, with a lot of reason, is now being very strict with banks, irrespective of whether they are cooperative banks, scheduled banks, your private sector banks, or your public sector banks, and NBFCs as well. So it is imperative for all cooperative banks also to fall in line, from a technology perspective. So you have compliances from a technology perspective, compliance from a risk perspective, compliance from a whole host of areas that these cooperative banks also need to fall in. This compliance is something that's already inbuilt into the solutions that we are offering, so that from a technology perspective, from a risk perspective, we undertake and offer a lot of what shall we say? We have built all those into the capabilities have been built into the LOS and the LMS system that we offer. So now the government of India and RBI are very strict as far as PII data is concerned. Now, what we do is whatever form of transmission of data, whether it is information that is flowing into the system or information that flows out of the system, and data that is stored in the system is 100% compliant as far as RBI is concerned. All transmission of data, whether receiving or sending, is encrypted. Data that is stored in the system is masked. At the same time, it's also encrypted within the system, so that nobody who has access to the application can pull out something and be able to pull out a PAN card or an Aadhaar card. All the data is encrypted and stored in the system. Digital lending is something that India has actually fintechs in India have actually transformed over the last 5-6 years. And to answer this question, it's very specifically, I have to say that if cooperative banks do not embrace technology, do not go in for a digital environment, do not go in for the digitized ecosystem, they will be left behind. Because there is a huge penetration of understanding as far as requirements of services to be provided digitally, both in the tier 1 cities as well as in the smaller towns and cities in India. This is the instructional set of series that we want to introduce to cooperative banks, both, like I said earlier, both from a compliance perspective as well as from a technology perspective. Get the awareness of cooperative banks also up to speed in terms of what's happening and how they can benefit from moving on digitalized platforms. I trust this initial introductory video you've been able to get some information, and hope that has given you a slightly better perspective of how the whole world is going digital and why it will benefit the bank also to move on to such platforms. We will be continuing this series. You can follow us on LinkedIn, and if you want to know more about the application, please you can put in a request on our website, which is www.allcloud.in, and we'll have one of our experts get in touch with you and schedule a call to understand your requirements in detail.